So I'm going to do an April tour of my garden. I see a number of you have been doing this, so it's probably a little easier than I guess taking a bunch of pictures and posting. So here it goes. So this is on the north side of my house. That's west. So I'm actually facing south here. But you'll note that this is right next to my air conditioner, and this is like a little hack I've discovered. If you have a setup like this, if you live in the south, you might. But that is, not sure, yeah, my hand's messing up the focus. That thing right there is the drain for the AC unit. And it actually keeps this area almost perfectly moist. So it's great for those herbs that prefer like cooler weather. I've done mint all summer long. That dill is really good. I got some sage that I've had success with, and that's actually bee balm right there. Oh, and I do have thyme and rosemary back there, but that's a neat little life hack, if you will. If you live in the south and have trouble getting stuff to grow from the heat, I found this actually is a fairly good method here, and it, like I said, the AC runs just enough apparently to keep that moisture content perfect in the soil. So this is another area on the north side of my house. That's a ginger plant you'll see right there. I don't have a lot in right now. Usually I have 3 or 4 plants going, but I've actually been keeping them going off of one root. I bought it at the grocery store about a year or so ago, and if I had it in the house and it sprouted, I'd plant it. And this is what I've gotten. Nothing, not super huge roots, but it seems to do good. It doesn't seem to like too much sun or too much water. So I've had a decent amount of success there. Okay, so that's my compost bin. There will be a shed here eventually, but so here are 2 of my pineapples. That's a new pineapple plant right there. I just cut the tops off of the grocery store pineapples, and I've had relatively good success. That one, it looks rough, but I had it outside, and we did, believe it or not, here in St. Pete, Florida, did have a couple nights below freezing, and it was a little too far away from the house, so it did get cold, but I think it'll live. I have some citrus plants. Now I will point out, these were grown from seeds from the store. It's a tangerine. Who knows? Originally I was going to bonsai these. That's why you can see maybe that there's 3 down there. Just trying to get them healthy before I do too much to them, because they were in pots. Over here I used to have a raised bed. It's a lot of weeds. In fact, that's a project for this afternoon, is to clean it up. I have a raspberry plant there, blackberry, another tangerine tree, and then that's squash. I've sporadically planted some squash just to see how they do, because they take up a lot of space. So if they go out in the yard, I really don't care. This area is for flowers. My daughter wanted butterflies, so we've planted flowers that will be for butterfly gardens. Meyer lemon bush, it's brand new, so don't expect too much from it this year. Again, more squash, you'll note. Actually interesting, I'm already getting I'm sorry, these aren't squash, these are giant pumpkins. I planted them a little early, so this is kind of a trial run. This is a hybrid squash, don't even know what it is. Believe it or not, it was my brother gave me these strawberry plants, and they were in the middle of them, so I transplanted them and everything went really well. This is kind of a lemongrass bed here, doing very well. There's garlic, three scapes right here, and then as of the other day, garlic there, and then I have garlic and onions will be in there. That's going to be watermelon that we're going to go vertical on right here. So we'll see. That's a Thai basil plant that just won't quit. And that rosemary plant's doing really well. These were green onions. Again, bought a bunch at the store, didn't use them all, so I figured, hey, what happens if I throw them in the soil? So now they've done this, they've gone to seed. But believe it or not, even though these are big, I still cut them up. They still taste fine. They're just not tiny and delicate. This is the other pineapple plant. It's doing, so now it's on the south facing wall, just so you guys, the behind me is south, you're looking north in this, but not sure, it's a different cultivar actually. A friend of mine who lives in Sarasota gave me a pineapple, and that's what this is. So it is not a Dole pineapple like the other two, but I actually have had other pineapples from this family when I lived in an apartment that did really, really well. So but they were in buckets. So interesting. Not sure why this one isn't doing great. I certainly don't overwater it, but who knows. Okay, so these are my raised beds and whatnot. So this will eventually be all strawberries. Right now you can see 2 strawberries. There's a lonely basil plant, leeks and carrots in the background, and some cabbage, which I grossly underestimated the size of. It'll be red cabbage, but it's growing, so no complaints there. I just planted beets. There's four rows of beets here. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we got? I think I labeled them. Okay, these are red, and these 2 rows over here are going to be gold. So they're coming up. Do need to water them again. They look a little dry. That is interesting. I don't know if you guys can see the shadow, but everything in front of the shadow dries out, and I rarely have to water behind the shadow, which makes sense. Again, rosemary, and there's some thyme behind there. And that is a culantro plant. If you eat pho, that's the crinkly leaf that you'll see that they serve with it. There's okra, and then behind it is obviously a bunch of, it's actually oak leaf lettuce, which is doing really, really well. I've sprayed it with some Captain Jack because I've noticed you can see on the okra some damage from bugs, so hopefully that'll keep it at bay. The other thing I try to do is intersperse my herbs in with the vegetables, because that also is a little bit of a control mechanism for bugs. This is a huge, lizard just jumped, cherry tomato. My daughter loves to come out and just grab as many cherry tomatoes as she can. I'm guessing by the end of the season this cherry tomato plant will have yielded about 300. I mean, it's insane. And the crazy thing was, the parent plant was way over in that corner last season. My daughter apparently dropped the tomato. 1 plant came up, and I transplanted it, and that is this. So, yeah. And then down behind here, we got, these are going to be jalapenos. So right there, I actually have a few. A lot of lizards to keep some of the bugs at bay. There we go. And then I'm growing some, you guys can see it. We got peas on here. My daughter loves these. She will only eat them raw. The other bed, you can see we got carrots, spinach, oak leaf lettuce. Those are heirloom tomatoes. We got beans galore here. I posted a picture. I have probably that many left still on here. Some more heirloom tomatoes. Again, this is super cramped. Everything got way bigger than I anticipated. 2 rows of basil right here. It's starting to come on, so that's good. This is arugula. I'm going to just have to pick it and take it into work. Share it with my office friends because it's getting a little old at this point. That's black-seeded Simpson lettuce right there. More carrots in the back, and I got 3 bell pepper plants. Those are sunflowers, and of course my grow bags with seed potatoes. Well, I shouldn't say seed potatoes. Potatoes which I got from the grocery store. We didn't eat them all. They sprouted, so that's what I've had luck with in the past. So stick with what works. And then those are, I will thin them out. There's obviously a lot there. I planted as many as I could. Those are cherry tomatoes from that plant because obviously they do well. So I'm gonna grow them in here so they don't take up the space. I've started in those little peat pellet things. I've started some cucumbers and spaghetti squash, so when these get harvested and those are bigger, I'm gonna go vertical with a bunch of this stuff because that's apparently the only direction I can go. So hope you guys enjoy this. If you have questions, would love to field them. If you have advice, definitely open for that. Oh, oh, oh.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. Work it. You're doing the right thing. Work it.
This way.
All right. Oh, good job. Good job.